Hey everybody, it's Strict9 with Strict9 GP, and I'm back with another episode of this Out of the Park 2020 playthrough with the Giants. I left off, I guess, about the end of April, got through most of the first month with this team, really got off to a rocky start. But there have been some surprises with this team since then. We're at the end of May, about to go into June. I still know that this is a challenge to be competitive this first year, but there's some surprises here, and I'll show you how we've done, and we definitely picked up play since that last time. First thing to look at is a record 25 and 28, and I'll go in here to the team stats report too to let you know. I mean, we've been really, since the last episode, we've been playing around 500. There was a time there when we were a game over 500 and in line for the wild card. It's been a pretty competitive season in the National League. But we've also improved in offense quite a bit. We were 15th in a lot of categories from the start of the season in that last episode. But our batting average has been good. We've improved, gosh, I would say 4 to 5 spots in a lot of these categories and just looking a whole lot better than we were. And then the big surprise is pitching. Bullpen ERA is still fourth in the league, top 10 in a lot of categories, good control from the staff, third in walks. So it's not all doom and gloom, but it is pretty much just piecing together whatever you can put out there. And we've also had some injury problems. I'll look at those too right now. Juggling the lineup has been a little bit tough. We lost Donovan Solano to a long-term injury. This guy's got good contact. Not a lot of power, but that doesn't bother me. I think he was going to be, if you look at the previous 2 seasons coming into this year, hitting well over 300, a positive wins above replacement in limited play. I thought that he was going to just be a lock on that second base slot. Good defender too, but he got injured for a couple months, so he's out to well after the All-Star break. We lost Sanchez. I think I talked about that injury last time, so he had to kind of scramble to get the starting rotation together. And then there were a couple other injuries that came and went, maybe like short 10 to 15 day injuries that I had to juggle. But looking at the way the team's performed, it's been really a surprise. I'll look at the lineups first and just point out a few things. Number one, Brandon Belt has not been terrible offensively. He's picked it up a little bit. I think most of the team has had a much better May. Like he's hitting 279 with a OPS of 1.008, looking really good. And then the big surprise to me though has been Brandon Crawford. He's hitting 326. Wins above replacement already at 1.6 in just 52 games. If you know anything about him, he's a great defensive shortstop, but he's shown some power in his career. He's been a silver slugger, I think, at least once at shortstop, but he has never really hit for that kind of average. So I'm really surprised at that. I don't know how long it's going to carry over. He is one of those guys I don't foresee signing just based on his age and looking at real quick what he would want from a contract extension, $11 million. At this stage of his career, I just don't think I can go that far for him. But he's having a great start. I don't think that'll hold, but he's been, to my mind, probably the biggest surprise on offense, certainly since the last episode. And Dubon, who was really good to start the season, he's come down to earth a little bit. He's still overall the best offensive player. At least he's putting the best numbers up. But I don't know if that'll hold either for the rest of the year. And then Yastrzemski finally, this guy was off to a terrible start. He's finally picking it up. Needs to get his average up, and I think he probably will. He also had a decent May to hitting 290, but you can see in April he was 170, struck out a lot. He was off to a really poor start. The ratings have gone down on him overall, but he's still the best offensive player on the team at this point. But then we look at pitching, and there are really some surprises here. Number one, Cueto, if he stays healthy, I know he's not getting a lot of wins, but he has shown some pretty good stuff here. I mean, his ERA is low. He's getting a lot of innings. At least 2 or 3 games there. He pitched into the 8th or 9th inning. His numbers really don't reflect what he's putting up in terms of his ratings, but at least we're getting something from him. We can't trade him with the contract he has, but he's been looking good. And then probably the best pitcher on the staff so far has been Alex Wood. Came off injury, I believe, right after that last episode. And 7 starts, he's got 4 wins. He's averaging around 6 innings per, almost 9 Ks per 9 innings. ERA plus looks good. I mean, looking at the ERA, I want to see what his FIP looks like. It's pretty good, 381, but he has been probably the steadiest guy in the rotation since he came off. But now some of the other guys I was counting on, like Logan Webb, a young guy who at 24 he's probably the best prospect on the team currently. He's taken a step back, and that's disappointing. But that bullpen, I got to be honest, has been pretty good. I've got Sherfy, I just called up because of an injury. He's looked good. Whistler and Tyler Rogers hasn't been bad in that closer role. 10 saves, and I think the last time I looked, he only had 1 blown save. 2.08 ERA. Whip pretty good. Ks 17 and 17 1/3, so he's been good. But the one thing I should mention here is I did make a trade, and I guess let me see if well, I made a trade that I had been talking about earlier in the season. So I guess the best way to do it, I can never find out the log there. Something I need to really figure out where that's at. But Seth Elledge is a guy that I traded Gossman for. And Gossman is one of those guys who was up for free agency. He has that almost $19 million salary. I didn't foresee re-signing him, and I just wanted to get some youth on the team, basically, and just pick up somebody who I thought had some upside that would help us out. But mainly, I wanted to get rid of that salary just in case if we get to the trading deadline and there's somebody that might have a 2-3 year contract that I think could fit to this team for a while, I might go for them. And, I didn't have the money really until I got rid of Gossman for something like that. He's looked good since he went to St. Louis, so that was a positive trade for him. But Elledge, I don't know what to make of him yet. He's 4-star potential, and OSA thinks he's a 5-star potential. He does have some really good upside if he meets this. He's not going to be a starter. I don't think he's going to get the stamina for it. But even if he goes, meets his potential from what my scout has, improves his control a little bit, his stuff's already good, got a great curveball. It's possible he could work his way into a setup or even closer role, but for now, this was mainly just a way to get somebody on this team that we had a lot of control on, and it'd be nice if he develops a little bit more and he's dependable year after year. I mean, he's the kind of guy who I think could help us out in the bullpen for 3-4 years, and so that was the reason I went for that trade. But it did free up, like I say. I mean, it freed up $18 million now. So if we get to that trading deadline and there's some pretty decent players out there that maybe have a $10, $12 million contract over the next few seasons, I might, try to work up a trade. It wouldn't scare me, at least now that I've got that money freed up. But what I wanted to do today is go through as much of the month of June, maybe get up close to the All-Star break, and I know we've got the draft coming up. We just came off a pretty a good extra inning win, but a pretty bad streak. As we ended May, we lost 4 in a row there to Arizona and the Dodgers before finally winning 2 of 3 from the Dodgers on the road. But then, you look, like I say, middle of the month, we were above 500, looking pretty good. And then what is that? 7 losses out of 8 games. That really set us back. So I'm hoping that we're back to winning. We got the Angels for a 2-game series, and then Chicago. So we're just going to pick it up and run with it. First game, Ohtani's pitching. We win 4-1. Good deal there. Offensively, Dubon had a good game. Let's see. He was pretty much the offense. And then Webb had another really good game. 7 2/3, no runs. Rogers gets the save. Now, since the month just started, we can look at player development. And this is what I'm hoping to see. Webb improved in a lot of things. Movement, control, all these, his 3 pitches improved. I feel like, give him time. I think he might develop into, mid-rotation might be the top for him, but you never can tell. He might look good. But Elledge, he's already losing some ground there. Posey's losing some ground. Sam Selman, wow, this guy's looking pretty good. And ratings-wise, anyway, he might be a September call-up if I needed him based on my scout. Joey Bart, I'm hoping to bring him up in September, unless I get an injury. I'm hoping that he's a starting catcher next year. One of the things I didn't mention, and I probably want to right now, we have had some really good prospect performances as well. And let's take a look at the rest of the monthly things here, and then I'll take a look at that. Aaron Judge was the player of the month in the American League. I'm surprised by that. He's got some good numbers coming up there. Jeff McNeil in the National League. Greg Holland, yet to give up a run in the American League. David Price is in the starting rotation for the Dodgers, looking good. And rookies, Mark Payton for Seattle, Cabrian Hayes. This guy's probably going to be a really good player for Pittsburgh. And then this is what I'm talking about. Luciano, probably our best prospect right now. He's with the high A Eugene Emeralds. This guy, he keeps coming up in my feed as player of the week, or just the numbers he's putting up are incredible. If you look at this, what he's on pace for: 76 home runs, 222 RBIs. That is amazing. I've never seen those kind of numbers from a guy in the minors. And Doval, who is also at one point he was like a 4.5 star, I think, potential prospect. He's looking good. Ramos is another one. This guy, he's at Richmond AA. He's one of my top prospects. He's looking amazing, on pace for 70 home runs. I don't know how that's happening, but and then Canario is the last good prospect, I think. Look at this guy hitting 411. So the prospects are just amazing on this team. And if I look at, let's see, is it under front office? Yeah, player development. The top prospects, man, they are just really tearing it up. And I don't know, and really some of the records when you get to Sacramento are good too. So we've obviously got something going on in the minors that's given me a pretty good feeling there. But I just feel like even with Luciano, I don't know how far away he is. His defense, the position ratings are still a problem. I don't know if he's going to play third base or is he going to play in the outfield. He's probably rated better at the outfield right now, but man, he is, he is showing some numbers down there in, what is it? He's high A, and I can't believe it. I haven't seen numbers like that, from minor league players, since I can't even remember. I mean, this is really incredible if it keeps up. But that win puts us 2 games back. Let's get back to playing game 2. We win 5-1. But Cueto, he's gonna be injured now, which is what I expected. I'm surprised I got as much as I got out of him. But offensively here, Dickerson and I've had Slater now. I had to put him in the starting lineup. This guy's a utility player. I really don't think, even though he's putting up decent numbers, I don't think he's a full-time starter. But Cueto only got through 3 innings. Elledge got the win. But that's going to hurt because if he's moderate, influences throwing, I think I'm going to have to put him on the DL. And there's just not much I can do about that. There really isn't, because I mean, if I throw him out there, he's going to get really injured. But who'd I put in is the question. Now, of the 2 guys at AAA, the 2 best pitching prospects, I thought Beck would have been better coming in because of his ratings, but he is having a terrible year at Sacramento. Shell, if I'm saying that right, is having a really good year. I just don't know if he's ready to, start in the minors, or in the majors. But I think that's who I'm going to go with. It's earlier than I would have liked, but we'll throw him out there and see what he does. I guess I could have gone, well, no, I don't think I have really anybody who would be rated as a starter in the bullpen. Like this guy, Elledge, if I set his position the starting pitcher, he's not as good. So we'll take a gamble here on putting Shell in there. Maybe he will maybe he'll show me something. Now this guy I don't know what to do about. He's a righty. But I like the way the staff is looking right now. Maybe Caleb Barger is not looking too good, though. He's the only one, really, that's struggling, and his numbers are not as bad as I'll probably just send this guy down to AAA and call him up if I need him. PM from Alex Wood, he's wanting to sign an extension. I wonder what he would go for. $9.5 million. I don't want to go quite that far with him yet because of his past injury problems. So now we're going to be playing, I guess this is the Cubs, 4 games at home. A split here would be nice. We win the first game, so we've won like 5 in a row now. Dickerson, Yastrzemski, Slater, good games. I mean, Slater's numbers, this guy's just a 2-star player, but his numbers are starting to look pretty good. And there's Alex Wood again, didn't get the decision, but picks 7 strong innings. And then another win, 2-0. We're now 1 game above 500. Slater again, 3 for 3. Dubon, 2 for 3 to get his average back up above 300. Tropiano is a guy who I just had to throw in there when Sanchez went out. He's 30 years. I don't think he has much of a future with this team, but he's filled in pretty good, at times for the team. And then Rogers, 13 saves now for him. So I think that's 6 games in a row. Let's see if we can make it 7. We do, 6-3. We got Belt with a good game, LaStella, Crawford a couple hits here, and then first start from him, his first major league win. Not bad, 6 innings, 6 Ks. I'll take that. And then last game, can we sweep them? We're 2 games above 500 right now, and the All-Star voting's going on too. And we sweep them, 5-1. man, Flores, who has a guy I didn't mention, he's been pretty disappointing, but he had a good game here. Longoria really just biding his time. He's injured right now. And then Crawford 2 for 3 again, man, and Webb picked up the win here. So 2 really good starts from him, and then Rogers 14 saves. He keeps it up. He's going to get some notice, I think, for maybe the All-Star game. Let's see how the voting is doing in the National League. If we have anybody, Austin Slater for some reason is getting votes there and at second, and which isn't too bad. Dubon is now finally getting some votes at center. And that's it. I would expect, though, Rogers, I would think he would have a chance at getting something, some votes there. Steven Strasburg is out again. And then Players of the Week, Kyle Tucker with Houston, Brendan Rodgers with Colorado. And the power rankings, I expect us to be pretty high, and we are 6th. We have won 8 in a row. We're just a half game back of the wild card. Really, really amazing. So now we got Texas on the road and Washington on the road. That can be pretty tough. Texas is actually doing pretty decent this year. In this playthrough, Washington not as much. I want to check the waiver wire just to see what kind of things are showing up out there. So we got a picture here at Eric Fetty, I guess is how you say that. If Shell were bombing, this guy would probably be worth picking up just to get through Cueto's injury, but I'm going to give him another chance, see how he's going to do. So 3 games with Texas. Brandon Woodruff out for Milwaukee. That's a big blow for them. So here I'd like to split. That would be nice. But we win 9 games in a row now. 8-7, a slugfest. Flores at DH drove in 3. Casale got a pinch hit home run, maybe. Yep, sure did. His first home run of the year. DeSclafani, not a great game, but picked up the win. And then Rogers, 15 saves, on pace for 41. He's got to be. No, he's not even on the leaders. It's kind of a surprise there. So we win the first game. Can we? We're now at 9 games in a row, and we finally lose 2-0. Who did they have out there? Dunning. Yeah, and we put Wood, who pitched a good game, really good game. 2 hits from Dubon and LaStella. That's pretty much the extent of the offense. Yastrzemski, he's still struggling overall. And now Washington, let me see what kind of news are out there. So we got a 4-game series against Washington on the road. That's not a good one. We win the first one 6-3. Longoria looks like he's going to be injured. And he's not getting a whole lot of play time at this point anyway. LaStella's looking pretty good at third. Flores had a good game here. And then pitching-wise, Tropiano didn't get the decision, but 6 innings. And then Rogers, once again, the save. Elledge got the win. So now I guess I'm going to have to decide. No, it's just 5 days. I'm going to ride that one out. And then we got the draft pool. I think I've looked at the draft pool earlier. We're going to be picking 14th. And then in terms of, who's out there when we show up, I know Moeller is probably, from our scout, probably the best player available. A catcher. My theory on drafts is you always go for the best available, but it wouldn't hurt with the kind of offensive players we got coming up through the system. I wouldn't mind taking a pitcher in that first pick. Just depends on who's available. The mock draft has us picking Moeller. I can't believe he'll be there. when we're picking. Uh, and this doesn't really mean a whole lot as far as that goes, but they've only got one starting pitcher picked there early. I might go with Leiter, for instance. I know he's going to ask for a lot of money though, so we'll just see how it looks. Jaden Hill looks good as well. I'll just have to look to see who's available when we get there. So game 2 against Washington, and again, I wouldn't mind another split here. We lose 0-2. Wait, did we win that one? No. So we lose 2-0. Just 5 hits in the game. Longoria played and got a hit. Shell, 7 innings, man. He looked good. 2 runs, taking a hard loss there. And we lose again 2-6. Flores with a couple hits. Yastrzemski's, he's back to struggling a little bit. And then Webb, a bad outing from him. The bullpen still, though, looked good there. We got another guy coming off of the IL. Kershaw's injured. He's having a rough year. So Tyler Beatty, I guess is how you say that. At one point, if you look at the history, I think he was their first round draft pick. He hasn't really developed, and I think I'm just going to have to move him down to Sacramento and see if he can get back on track. He had a great year at Sacramento in 2019. Earned a call up to San Francisco, but didn't do too well there either. All right, so game 4, can we salvage the split? We do. Nice 7-3 to win. Yastrzemski, a couple hits. Flores, Dubon, 3 for 5. Hovering around 300 now. Good all-around numbers. I think he might be, he's not even available for arbitration yet. And I've said, before with him, he's the youngest starting offensive player, so I would really like him to develop and be able to keep him. DeSclafani got the win here. Good win from him. So looking at the week's honors, Shoop, Player of the Week in the American League. Ian Happ in the National League, even though he's having a pretty rough year, 225 average. Greinke is out for the season after a really good start, on pace for 22 wins. He's gone for 11 months. That might be it for him in this playthrough. I don't know if that's something you'll be able to come back from. Power rankings, we are still top 10. We're 9. We're 3 games over 500. Not going to catch the Dodgers, but we're close there with Arizona for second place, just a half game back in the wild card. Individual players, who's standing out there? Soto having a good year. Marcell Ozuna, 23 home runs. But you look, we don't have any players showing up in that leaderboard, at least the top 3. And then for the American League, one of the surprises here for me is Boston, although in real life, as I'm recording this, Boston's off to a good start. They may have a better team than people give them credit for. Minnesota really running away with it, as is Houston. I think here I'm surprised that the Rangers playing competitive. They're at 500. White Sox, 29-37. They must be dealing with injuries. Adam Eaton, Jimenez, Birdie. I don't know. That's kind of a mystery why they're playing so poor. But in the National League, Mets, Braves on the top of the National League East. Milwaukee, although that Woodruff injury is going to hurt them. So I don't know if I would say Arizona might be a little bit of a surprise. Of course, we're surprised. And then San Diego playing pretty rough. They're a surprise to me. So we got Arizona for 4 at home, and then Philadelphia. Philadelphia's struggling this year. Game 1, we win 2-1. We got 2 hits from Slater, 2 from LaStella. Belt is having a rough June again, hitting 129. And then pitching, Alex Wood. 8 innings, 1 run, 8 Ks. Man, he's really and now he's up to 11.5 million. I just don't see me doing that. I think it would be a gamble. We lose 2-10 in the next one, just really hammered. I wouldn't be surprised. No, that's Tropiano. Crawford had a couple hits. Bullpen, which is still, I think, looking pretty good. Our third in bullpen ERA. Lost some ground here offensively, it looks like. But, man, 9-4 in June. Game 3 against Arizona, 6-9. Pitching is blowing up here. Shell probably got hammered here. So we got Dickerson with 3 hits. Slater drove in a couple. Estella, his average is at 332, 331 pace. Yeah, Shell got rocked up, knocked around a little bit. But Elledge, for what it's worth, his ERA is down to 3.04. For June, he's six outings, 7 innings, no runs, so that's good. So now game 4 against Arizona, we need to win this one to split, I believe. And we do 6-2. And we got trade proposals coming in. So looking at the game here, Dickerson, a couple hits. Davis, guy I brought up when I forget who was injured. I think it was the second baseman I was talking about. Webb, great outing from him. 8 2/3, 1 earned run. So we're about to play Philadelphia, and it looks like they're throwing out a trade proposal. Hector Neris for Harrison Freed. Harrison Freed, pretty decent numbers down there at San Jose. I don't see much upside to the guy. But Neris, man, that's too high for me, and he's not looking too good. So I'm going to pass on that one. Alvarez injured for Houston. So 3 games home against the Phillies. We win the first one 7-2. Got another trade proposal coming in. So, with the record at 37-33, I think teams are looking at us like, hey, you're going to make a playoff push here. So this game offensively looked pretty good. Belt 2 for 4, scored 3. Dickerson 3 for 4, drove in 4. I haven't mentioned much about Posey, but he, his numbers, he's down to 2-star rating at the moment. It might be, I know it's probably time to look at Joey Bart, but it's hard to, put Posey out of that lineup. Really is. So DeSclafani, his ERA is not good for the season, but he's had some good wins lately. I think he might be leading the staff in wins. If I look at his splits, June has been decent. And then the pitching staff, I think. Nope, Logan Webb is also at 7 wins. So, he's been serviceable, which is about as good as you can hope for. So now, Miami, they've got a 24-year-old Paul Campbell. They want Joey Bart. That's too much. Joey Bart at the moment, I think he's going to be, the future catcher here. But, that's just, even though his numbers aren't that great, I got to hold on to him for a while longer. So game 2 against the Phillies, 9-8, a shutdown streak from Trevor Rogers. So LaStella 4 hits here. Belt just a hit. Dubon 2 for 4, drove in 3. Crawford still got his average up there above 300. Wood finally had a bad outing here. Rogers, same way. He held on to get the win, but he blew the save. And now game 3 with the Phillies, can we sweep them? We do 4-2. We're playing way above my expectations right now. So we got Dubon and Crawford here, 2 hits apiece. Strzemski, who hasn't had a great June, 228 average, but he drove in a couple here. And then Tropiano, shutout, 6 innings. Bullpen was pretty decent. So now we've got a lot of news here. So looking at the All-Star voting right now, Austin Slater's still getting votes. Dubon is now second in voting at center field, behind Cody Bellinger. I think he's been injured. He's not putting up any great numbers this year. And it looks like Solano is now going to be out for 2 to 3 months, which he is also a guy who's up for free agency this year. So that's probably going to do it for him, for us. And then Players of the Week, Sano, Acuna Jr., and then Hunter Bishop, guy I haven't talked about. His ratings are not showing up that great. He is a former first-round pick for the Giants. He's playing all the way at Eugene this year. His numbers, his stats are good. I just don't know if he's going to develop with the ratings that he has, and he's injured. A small injury there. All right, so now Hector Rondon out. Power rankings, we are 7th. That's just a really big surprise. Sorry. 6 games above 500. We've jumped above Arizona. We're tied with several teams there for that second wild card spot. Just big surprises here. So let's keep going. I guess this is going to be, another 2-game series against the Angels on the road. First one we lose 2-6. Shell rocked around a little bit there. Quintana gets the win. And then game 2, 4-0 shutout. Ohtani, 5 innings, 12 strikeouts, and Webb really was hurt here. So not a great series. Now we got Oakland at home for 3. I'll take a look at the news after this. Game 1, we win 4-2. Yastrzemski, a couple hits. Flores, Dubon, and then Wood, 7 innings. That's kind of the line, 7 innings, 2 runs, 8 Ks. That's what he's been doing a lot this year. Game 2 against Oakland, 6-2. Good game here from Flores, 3 for 4, drove in 2. I'm still thinking Flores has got a chance to be the starting first baseman next year. Dubon, Yastrzemski, Slater, all with a couple hits. Tropiano, he's since I called him up, he's well, I don't know if I called him up. I think he did start in the minors, and because of that late start this season for the minors, he hadn't started playing yet, but he's done okay. And now last game against Oakland, we lose 2-1. So we're 5 games above 500 now. Who's the pitcher here? DeSclafani. Looked good, just poor fielding, I guess, hurt us. But now a lot of news here. Keuchel out for the season. So that's going to... And it looks like Chicago in this playthrough, the White Sox are just going to have a tough time of it. Giolito out for 5 weeks. He's not having a great year either. So Keona Kela claimed off waivers. So we still got Austin Slater getting votes. Dubon still getting votes. No others. And then Wilmer Flores. Yeah, he's wanting to be the starter. I mean, he is starting against lefties, for what it's worth. against righties, you know, he's maybe he should, you know, at this point. I don't want to make him unhappy. And we'll just see what he does. And I'll put Slater there. And then maybe that'll settle him down. Got a prospect here, not too good. Although our scout is a good international or amateur scout. Players of the week, Cunha back up there, and then power rankings we are 12th. So we took a little dive there. Although we've won 6-10, still we're still kind of in line for the last wild card spot. So now we're going up against the Dodgers. 2 looks like on the road. Again, I would love to split this, but it's going to be tough. They have owned us this year. They win the first one 8-9. Cueto already ready to come off the DL, so IL. I'm gonna put him on a rehab assignment and make sure the manager's got him somewhere in there. They put him in long relief. So we got some offense here, but that's, you know, like from Slater and Yastrzemski and Dubon, you know, Crawford still. Shell was rocked. Well, no, he wasn't. 4 runs in 6 2/3. I can deal with that. Bararger, this is the guy who's really having a tough stretch. Look how he's June and May have gone. I think it's time to put him down because he's the weak spot in that lineup. I'm going to put Garcia back. Although he wasn't looking that good either. This is the guy I was going to put back. So, yeah. So, Bararger, you're going down. And then Ronta. And then I'll put him at middle relief. And then game 2 against Los Angeles. 6-1 loss. I bet we're winless. Well, no, we're not winless, but we have won a few against Los Angeles, but they have been tearing us up. We only got 2 hits in this game. Buehler, 9th win for him. Webb, 6 runs in 6 2/3. So now we're playing at Arizona. This would be a nice series here. But let's take a look at some news because we got the international free agents start right now. Well, Sal Sosa. And Morales. I don't know that this is what I would consider any like sure things. Let's go look at what the batters are looking like. Salazar, he looks good, but I don't like his personality ratings. I don't know if I need, you know. Plus, I bet he would take the full amount to sign. Let's see what. So let's see here. Bobby Calderon. So a couple of decent outfielders, but I don't think there's anybody I'm going to put a lot of money into. Hey, I was recording, but I don't know. You mean from the shelf? Yeah, I don't remember moving them. All right, so let's take a look at the player development Whistler, man, look at he's a 4-star reliever now. Is my scout saying, yeah, he could, be the closer, and his contract, he's got an arbitration. I would go 2.6 million for that, and wow, I didn't expect that. He is having a good year, but that's good. Logan Webb, he's improved a little bit in a few ratings. Sean Hell or Shell, he's improved a little bit. Canario, this guy's still having just a phenomenal year down there in San Jose. I just really look for the pluses, and there's a lot. Like Arteaga is another one who I thought was going to be one of our better prospects, but he's injured now. He's out for 6 months. So there's some positives there with the prospects. So best hitter for the month, Sano in the American League, Pete Alonso in the National League, Griffin Canning, LeMay in San Diego, pitchers of the month, and then rookies Andrew Vaughn and Paul Campbell, and then Hunter Bishop was outstanding player of the month there down in Eugene, but once again his ratings aren't going up. So let's finish out this series with Arizona and see if we can keep winning, but nope, 8-12. Some good offensive numbers here put up by several. Crawford 2 for 4, drove in 4, but Wood was hit hard early and we couldn't recover. Bumgarner, man, he's actually having a pretty decent year with them, but not a good outing from him this game. Game 2 against Arizona, 13-8, so putting up a lot of offense here. Slater, and Lastella's now going to be injured for 1 week. Dickerson, DeBont, man, just a lot of good numbers offensively. The only one who's really not putting it up there is just Yastrzemski. And then pinch hit from Davis, 3 RBIs. Tropiano didn't have a good game here, and Whistler got the win, but he blew the save. Otherwise, the bullpen looked pretty good. So game 3 against Arizona. And we got the top 100 prospects. We don't have anybody in the top 10, but system report, we are 14th with Luciano, Santos, starting pitcher who's not looking too good at Eugene, and then Patrick Bailey, catcher at Richmond. I wonder how Bart's doing. And we got Casimir. Scott Casimir is pitching. I guess they had to sign him to take care of injuries. That's weird. Joey Bart's injured just for 4 days. Still having a tremendous year offensively down there, though. So game 2, Arizona, or 3, sorry. 7-4. 4 RBIs from Dubine. A couple hits from Davis and Slater. And DeSclafani, his 8th win. Rogers, his 19th save. So we've at least split. Let's see if we can win the last one. And we do 6-1. 4 RBIs from Yastrzemski, although once again his month has been pretty, he's playing better than he was at the start of the year, but he's not carrying the team offensively like I think he was supposed to. Good outing here from Shell. 5 innings, 1 run, so a good win. That's a good way, I think, to end this episode. We got some things to look at, though, now. In terms of all-star voting, Dubine, I think, has a good shot. He might be the only one, though, that makes it. And then Player of the Week, PJ Hilson, one of ours. And then Players of the Week in the American League, Torres, National League, Fuentes. Justin Turner injured. Putting up some great numbers, though. Hitting 350. 348 anyway. In power rankings, we are 11th. We moved up a little bit. So where we're at right now is we're coming up to the draft. We got the All-Star teams announced. You know what? Let's play through and get those All-Stars. See if we have anybody showing up there. So we got St. Louis, a nice 1-0 shutout here. That was Webb pitching a great game, but Rogers getting a win in relief. Just 4 hits from us though. But I'll take it. That's a nice win against a good team. Game 2, we lose 2-7. Dickerson a couple of hits. His numbers have gotten a little bit better as the year's gone on. Pitching wise, Wood a good game, but Rogers, bad outing from him. And then game 3 against St. Louis, we win. So we win 2 of 3 from St. Louis. Good series there. Tropiano didn't get the win, but pitched really well. 8 innings, just 2 runs. And so now we're going to go against Washington. And one other thing too, I want to check before we end this game, or in this episode. But let's finish up here. Game 1 against Washington, we win 4-1. DeSclafani out for just a week, but with the All-Star break coming up, that'll be fine. Belt, a couple hits here, getting the start. He's probably going to be on. No, he's not unhappy. Slater, 3 hits. Crawford, a couple hits. I'm just really shocked. He might even get some notice for All-Stars. DeSclafani, even though he got hurt, pitched well enough to get his 9th win. And then game 2, 4-1 win. So we're back up 7 games above 500. Got Slater, Belt, Longoria, Crawford, all with hit. Wait a minute. DeSclafani got the start. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the other game. That was the same game. All right, game 2 against Washington. We lose 2-7. Flores with a couple hits. Shell really hammered. I still don't think he's ready for the majors. And we've got a trade proposal. Jose Alvarez. He's wanting a contract extension. I don't think he's really worth it. I know Brandon Crawford would like one. He's still, he's won $16 million. That's not going to happen. Detroit trade proposal: Julio Treyron, Connor Cannon, Edison Mora, and Omar Medina. So that's not going to happen. That would not help us out at all. Mike Trout injured. Man, look at the season he's having. He's hitting 179. That makes no sense. And now we got the rosters. So in the American League, anything standing out here? McCullers looks like he might be leading the league in wins. Ohtani makes it as a starting pitcher, I guess. Rafael Devers, just kind of I'm not seeing anything that's surprising me too much. But now for the National League, got Buehler, Burns, Flaherty, Fried, Kinsey Gore, even though he's apparently been injured. I don't understand why he only has 3 wins. Still not seeing any San Francisco players. Yep, Dubon is there, and looks like he's going to be the only one. So Lindor, Tatis, Seager make it for shortstop, which I thought Brandon Crawford might have a chance. He's probably putting up better numbers than some shortstops in the league, but Dubon's going to be our only All-Star. Pretty good for him. He's about to turn 27. He'll be, I really would like to see his ratings improve a little bit, but At least he's somebody we can work with. And then the All-Star prospects, I'm assuming we got some guys here. We got Genovese, Luciano, who's calmed down quite a bit, still on pace for 55 home runs. And looks like that's it. I would have expected more. All right, so now we're going to be up to the draft. That's something that we will take a look at, I guess, next episode. But I'm probably going to just give a recap. We just won against Washington there 3-2 in extra innings to maintain that record. So I'm really surprised at what's happening here. I mean, if I'm looking at standings, we're probably at the moment tied for that last wild card. I don't think that'll continue, but you never know. I keep saying that, so it might be that we can pull it out. But it's okay if we don't, because this is going to be a rebuild situation. But it is nice it's always good to win. You always play these games to win. But what I'm going to do is I will go through the draft offline. I'll come back probably around September and see how we finish off the season. I said I was going to finish, but I forgot one other thing. I was going to look at the trading block just to see if there's anybody here that might be somebody worth taking a look at. Well, let's just do it this way. Look at the batting ratings. I mean, Abreu's out there, but he's making a lot of money. Don't want to go for him. Miguel Rojas. He's signed through next year. Well, he's got a team option. I mean, even though Crawford's having a good year, this would be I think a good pickup. Might take a look at that. I like his age too, for the most part. He would be a short-term remedy, nothing long-term. And then we look at the pitching. And we got Scherzer, who's injured. Zach Britton, Clevenger, who's injured, Kluber, not seeing too much there, but I might play around with that as well between now and the next episode, and see if we can, pick up somebody who's got some years left, and, if we can get them for a pretty decent trade where we're not giving up our top prospects, I might still go for it. Looks like there's not as much as with the pitching as there is with the batting. I mean, there's some guys here I think who could fit with this team next year and going forward. That might help us out. But that'll do it for this episode. Appreciate you guys watching, liking, subscribing, and we'll come back next time in September and see how we finish it off. May have a better outcome than I was thinking in terms of record, but still a ways away from putting this team where I want it to be. So that's it. We'll see you next time.